side who played most of the match with 10 men.
A night for the holders to steel themselves in Sheffield. A strong swirling wind caused big problems. Whitehouse and Hodges both going close for the First Division side in the opening minutes. Sheffield United were incensed not to be awarded a penalty after 10 minutes. Blake appeared to be upended by Bruce. The replay appearing to back up United's claims. Moments later, Sheffield United allowed their frustration to boil over. Hartfield struck Cantona, and referee Robbie Hart brandished the red card. Manchester United came close with Hughes heading against a post. And Giggs headed just wide moments before the break. Sheffield United's 10 men had the best of the early second-half exchanges. Gage's low shot pushed wide by Schmeichel. At the other end, Kelly somehow kept out Cantona, but the Republic of Ireland keeper was powerless to stop Mark Hughes' header that gave Manchester United the lead with 10 minutes remaining. Hughes sneaking between two defenders to place the ball perfectly. Moments later, Cantona sealed the victory. Pure magic as the Frenchman chipped over Kelly to send United through to the fourth round. A goal that deserved to win any match. And just as last year, United's cup run starting with a win at Bramall Lane. John Roeder, Sky News.
Well, without anyone really having the slightest inkling, Manchester United swooped to pull off a record transfer deal and bring Newcastle's Andy Cole to Old Trafford for £6 million.
At just 23 and with a phenomenal goal-scoring record, Andy Cole was perhaps destined to be a man on the move. Few, though, would have predicted this move at this time. Even Cole himself seems to have been caught out by the speed of events.
It was my agent who, gave me a call and said, he's coming up to see me. Didn't know what about. When he came to see me, told me, Kevin Keegan accepted the offer from Man United. He wants to go and speak to him.
So how difficult a decision was it once you came here, once you knew Manchester United were interested to move here?
Oh, obviously it was difficult, because I never wanted to leave Newcastle, but the gaffer accepted the bid. I've come to a very big club, I just want to do well for Manchester United,
For Alex Ferguson, the signing of Tynesyde's top hitman and folk hero is a coup on par with the successful swoop he made for Eric Cantona a couple of seasons ago.
Everyone knew we were looking for an English striker, and I think we've got the best, there's no question about that. But his penetration and his goals in the last, 78 and 81 games or something like that, some phenomenal record.
No doubt Manchester's manager is happy with the deal then, so apparently is Kevin Keegan. Newcastle's loyal fans, though, are clearly not.
I thought we could take it on, and you've got to allow me to do that. If it doesn't work, I know what the implications are. I know what the bottom line is.
On Sunday, Manchester United travel to St James's Park, and Andy Cole will be there. He won't be playing, though, because the deal sidelines both him and Keith Gillespie. Nigel Deering, Sky News.
At suit tonight, they've stripped him of the captaincy of his country for good. The fan has also been banned from Selhurst Park for the rest of the season.
In banning their own player for the rest of the season, Manchester United may have acted to safeguard the club's name, but they know his absence could cost them dearly. Since Eric Cantona arrived at Old Trafford, Manchester United have had 2 superb seasons, and the Frenchman's brilliance on the field has played more than a small part in helping bring in the honours. Only last Sunday, Cantona underlined just how valuable he is when he scored the only goal in United's victory over Premiership leaders Blackburn Rovers.
The club, obviously, by suspending him to the end of the season, are hoping that he'll accept the punishment which he has done and come back and play for the club again, because the supporters here love him. He's a magnificent player, he's an absolute genius. And at the end of the day, the supporters are the people that matter, and all football clubs, especially this one here.
But it's a blow for football in general, because we've got one of the great players in English football who gives a great deal of pleasure to spectators. And it doesn't matter if you support Manchester United or not, it gives a great deal of spectators pleasure, and he's not going to play this season again. I think that's very sad.
In the next round of the FA Cup, United tackle Wrexham, a tie that has generated a great deal of interest at the second division club long before Cantona's misdemeanour. Manchester United reached the 4th round of the Cup at the expense of Sheffield United, and once again it was the Frenchman's flair that made all the difference. Cantonar's absence for the rest of this season will hit the club hard, on the pitch and off it. Alex Ferguson must be hoping the FA don't go one step further than Manchester and make it a permanent ban.
This commission has wide powers, as I said yesterday. It will do whatever it thinks appropriate on the basis of all the facts, irrespective of what happens between now and then.
With Cantona out then, the onus on new signing Andy Cole will be increased. Instead of playing alongside the Frenchman, he'll now be expected to fill his boots and provide the drive United need in their bid to retain the Championship and the Cup. Nigel Deering, Sky News. Park, Tranmere gave Wimbledon a hot reception, at least early on in the game. But Seegers was a match for anything the home side could throw at him. And as the Dons began to find their stride, their front men soon found the target. After that, Wimbledon kept the pressure well and truly on Tranmere. Eric Nixon did his best to keep the visitors out, but inevitably they found a gap and Robbie Earle made them pay. Wimbledon could have had more, but on the day 2 were enough. They sit back now and wait to see whether they'll face Liverpool or Burnley in the 5th round. Bristol City. Scott Partridge and Junior Bent ran rings round the visitors, and City's number 9 had plenty of opportunities to sink the Premiership club. Even when Partridge was substituted, Bristol City continued to dominate the game. Alisson foiled only by the woodwork. By now, Bristol should have guessed this wasn't going to be their day. Matt Jackson's first goal of the season proving that when things are going your way, there's not a lot anyone can do about it. The First Division outfit deserved an equaliser, but like every other chance, somehow the ball just wouldn't go in. They didn't deserve it, but it's Everton that go through.
They went down 3-1 at White Hart Lane as Spurs continued their revival under Jerry Francis with another impressive display.
A positive enough start for Blackburn. Shearer, Ripley and Sherwood sliced through the Spurs defence. Chris Sutton was within inches of putting them ahead. But Tottenham too are capable of incisive flowing football, and Barmby's direct run set up the chance for Klinsmann to squeeze the ball through Bobby Mim's legs. It was Klinsmann's 19th goal of the season and was to put a spring in his teammates' steps. Tottenham's second goal had an element of luck. Klinsmann was again involved in the build-up, but Darren Anderton's shot took a deflection off Colin Hendry. Bobby Mims was left stranded, and Blackburn too were losing direction. 2 minutes into the second half though, they were back in the match. Some old-style Tottenham defending left Sherwood unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box. Going forward though, Tottenham remain impressive. Darren Anderton caused problems down the right, and Klinsmann came within inches of what would have been a dramatic third. At the other end, Chris Sutton twisted and turned and then wasted a chance to put Blackburn level. Kenny Dalglish could barely look and certainly didn't want to see Darren Anderton scampering down the wing once more just minutes later. This time Nick Barmby was on the end to put Spurs 3-1 ahead. Alan Shearer continued to hustle and bustle up front for Blackburn, but the luck stayed Tottenham's way. A defeat for Blackburn that keeps the Championship race very much alive. Andy Cairns, Sky News.
Since Filbert Street, Brian Little has guided Villa to 9th place, and when you're on a roll, the luck seems to go your way. Dean Saunders opened Villa's account on 8 minutes, deflecting a deflection from Steve Staunton, his 17th goal of the season. Villa's second on 37 minutes was directly set up from a 50-yard through ball by Trinidad's Dwight Yorke. And there was no stopping Republic of Ireland international Staunton's effort this time. Yorke got on the score sheet in bizarre circumstances himself to make it 3-0 to Villa on the hour, much to the relief of Tommy Johnson, who had by far the better opportunity. Leicester looked destined for their 17th league defeat of the season. Yorke's strike set up a thrilling last half hour. Just 60 seconds later, Mark Robbins made the most of Villa's slack defending to poach his 3rd goal for the Foxes. And that made it 3-1 to Villa. Tommy Johnson made personal amends for his earlier miss on 66 minutes. He restored Villa's 3-goal advantage with this 25-yard lob, his 4th goal in 3 games. Given their recent form, there's been talk of Europe for Villa next season, but Leicester didn't allow them to get too carried away. And Ewan Roberts reduced the arrears in the 77th minute to convert Mike Galloway's centre. 4-2 to Villa. Leicester substitute David Lowe made it 4-3 after Mark Bosnich beat away a fierce shot from former teammate Gary Parker. And that sets up a last anxious 10 minutes for Aston Villa. With 91 minutes on the clock, another Leicester corner. And indeed they grabbed their deserved equaliser, David Lowe, on the score sheet again. The point lifted Leicester off the bottom. Any higher, Mark McGee said afterwards, and he'll get dizzy with a nosebleed. Aston Villa 4, Leicester